You couldn't write scripts on Broadway any better than what happens in baseball games over the course of seasons. Somehow these things just come to play. Here's Jeter.
Well, if you're a Yankee fan, and even if you're not here, even if you're somebody that roots for the Orioles and you're watching in your mind's eye, and you got to go back a long way. How many big hits has he gotten for? I was looking at some of the numbers. 343 in the division, 257 championship, 308 in the World Series, All-Star game. Best pitchers in baseball, 440.
Potential winning run at second base. Jeter's got 2 RBIs in the ballgame already. Double and a fielder's choice. Runner at second. Jeter goes to right field. He's got a base hit. Here comes Richardson. Here's the throw to the plate. He's safe. Derek Jeter's last game at Yankee Stadium is a walk-off base hit. You're seeing the respect that the Orioles have for Derek Jeter. They have stayed out there on the bench after losing a ball game. You may never see that again.
Well, that's the respect for his career. And obviously not about just that base hit, even though he did get it. And how about you look over on the sidelines, you see some of his former teammates there.
The 4-4 is on down.
Exactly. Well, that's how it started 20 years ago. And I'm not sure if you've seen them yet.
Joe Torre's out on the field. There's Jorge Posada taking the pitcher. Mariano Rivera's out there. CC Sabathia. Mariano. Jorge Posada.
And there's his Hall of Fame manager, Joe Torre.
Martinez,
Gerald Williams, they're all here.
Now he'll go alone here. to remember. And that will do it here in New York for Jeter into the Orioles. Orioles now head to Toronto. Chris Tillman.
I went up my first at bat. I forgot my elbow guard. I was throwing balls away. I was giving signs to Drew at second base, and there's no one on base. So I was all messed up. But I want to thank everyone here. I've said it time and time again. Everybody's chanting, "Thank you, Derek," and I'm thinking to myself, for what? You know, I'm just trying to do my job. So thank you guys.
Derek, for 20 straight years, you've put on that uniform. Coming to the ballpark today, knowing it was the last time you were taking the field here in the Bronx and putting on those pinstripes, what was that feeling like for you?
It was odd. I mean, if I'm going to be honest with you, these last few weeks have gotten tougher and tougher. I told you, members of the media, I didn't want to talk about it because I try not to think about it. But it was very, very difficult, but it's all worthwhile.
You've always been focused on one thing, and that one thing has been winning and winning championships. Were you able to take a step back today and kind of take it all in?
Yeah, I mean, this was a lot of fun. I mean, thank you.
You had quite the greeting community there with the core four here, some of your other teammates, Joe Torre. What was it like to see them here on the field supporting you in your final game?
It's, you know, those guys are like brothers. Mr. T's like a father. The whole organization, the fans. I want to congratulate the Orioles and wish them luck going into the playoffs. They deserve it.
Before I let you go, what are you going to miss most about this uniform in this place?
Everything. But most importantly, I'm going to miss the fans. They're what made this special.
Derek, thanks for the tip.
Well, now as he speaks with Susan Waldman from the Yankees radio network, and our own Tom Berducci is standing by for his chance to talk with Derek. People wondered, will he break down? Will he cry? His voice quivered a little bit, but that's about as close as it comes.
But I think the emotion of, say, not being taken out in the ninth inning, when there would have been a lot more emotion on ending his career, it was ending the game with a game-winning hit. Brought that joy back to him.
The swing we've come to expect from him, we've seen so many times. He leaps in the air as young Antoine Richardson comes sprinting home from second, head-first dive to score the game-winning run. The reaction from his dad and his mom and his sister. Dramatics without histrionics. That's been the story of his career.
We saw his signature play. We saw a signature hit.
Truly. In a sense, that was more classic Derek Jeter than if he had hit a home run. An opposite field base hit. Big hole between first and second. No matter what happens for the rest of Antoine Richardson's baseball career, he can tell everybody, I scored the run on Derek Jeter's last Yankee Stadium at-bat and maybe his last big league at-bat. And a Gatorade bath. They were scared to do that. CC Sabathia to embrace him. Brett Gardner, whose sacrifice bunt was essential in the inning. It moved Richardson into scoring position. Here's Tom with Derek.
Derek, we knew you could play shortstop. Now I think we know you can write scripts too. How much fun was that?
Ah, man, I mean, I don't even know what just happened, to be honest with you. I was out there short, and the first time in my career I was saying, please don't hit it to me, because I thought I was going to lose it. and then all of a sudden you got to get ready to hit. So I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Derek, a boy in Michigan, grew up with one dream, to play shortstop for the New York Yankees. You've lived that dream for 20 years. Now the New York portion of that dream, it's over. What are your emotions right now?
You know, it's weird. I mean, if the game would have just ended in the top of the ninth, I'd be in tears right now, but it's just a run of emotions. You know, now I'm very happy. I'm excited. You know, the fans, you always try to have good games and do something special for them, and if I could do it one last time, then I'm happy for that.
Now, obviously, you built a career, one game at a time, staying in the moment. Tonight, how much reflecting did you do, and what were those thoughts?
A lot, man. Like I said, yeah, I mean, right from the first inning, I was saying, don't hit me a ground ball. And then I got ahead in the count in the first inning, calmed me down a little bit, but I was extremely nervous. I was uncomfortable, but it all worked out.
Last time you'll wear playing pinstripes, will we see you play in Boston?
Yeah, I'll play in some capacity. Quite honest with you, I think this is probably my last game at shortstop. You know, I want to remember that view right there I had today, but you know, out of respect to Boston fans and the rivalry, I'll play in some capacity.
Finally, Derek, ninth inning, the fans are chanting, "Thank you, Derek." What's your response?
Well, I mean, I'm wondering why they thanking me. You know, I'm the one that should be thanking them. I just came here and tried to do my job. It's been fun, man. It's been a fun 20 years, and yeah, it wouldn't have been this much fun without them.
Derek, thank you very much.
How about that little guy, his nephew Jalen? Think he'll have something for the photo album or the video catalog?
I mean, typical Derek Jeter, everything just started perfectly, ended perfectly, and you know, he conveyed his emotions, which we could see and read on his face. It's like, please don't hit it to me, which is the first time he's ever said that in his entire career. So you knew the nerves were there, but the opportunity to game when he hit turned it from emotion to joy. Couldn't have been a more perfect night, and boy, what a treat to be a part of this.
Only with Derek Jeter involved can a blown lead, a horrendous blown lead, a 5-2 lead, when the starting pitcher has been impeccable, your closer comes in, messes the whole deal up, except it sets the stage for a baseball moment that we'll never forget.
I guess Joe Girardi knew what was going to happen. Taking Field out, and Derek still walking, acknowledging the fans. I don't know if any athlete anywhere has bonded with the fans more than Derek has.
And it seems that not one of those fans has left the ballpark.
Tom pointed out earlier, and you mentioned it, the #1 selling jersey in the last 7 years, except for the year he didn't play.
He's 40 years old. He's hitting in the 250s. But at the All-Star game, he got a couple of hits, including a double. His last game at home, he got a couple of hits, including a double. And the last one is one that will be part of highlight reels long after all of us who are in the ballpark tonight.
Instant classic. An instant classic.
Mom and Dad. As I once was, and I'm as good once as I ever was.
Yeah. Well, our open on the showcase game says, you know, it's not heaven, but it's pretty darn close.
You know, it's a business, and you're around it for a long time, and you see some things that maybe are at odds with the romance you felt for the game when you were a kid. But almost without fail, every year, something happens within baseball that renews your faith, takes you back to when you were a kid, reminds you of why you love the game. And Derek Jeter has provided so many of those moments.
And you know, in the open today, I was thinking about, you know, there's all the statistics, everything you can say about Derek and his accomplishments, but I wanted to focus on knowing him as a person and as a player for all the years I covered the Yankees. And the first words that came to my thoughts that came to my mind is the joy that he's brought to fans. And could tonight's game be any bigger example of the joy that he's brought everyone?
Talk about a guy who always seemed to have a sense of the moment.
Yeah.
And the moment seemed to always come to him, right to the very end.
Well, I guess the lesson there would be, good things happen to people that do things right, play the game right, wears the uniform right, treats his teammates right, is always interested in advancing others instead of himself. And he gets rewarded tonight with a magical night to close out his career here in Yankee Stadium.
I think part of the reason why he was uncomfortable with much of what went on, especially after the Yankees fell out of realistic contention and then this week were officially eliminated, he's always been a star among stars. He was always kind of the player who was the face of the franchise from the 90s on. But there's never been a circumstance until now when he was the sole focus. This game didn't mean anything to the Yankees.
Right.
So he was the sole focus, and I think he was very uncomfortable with that.
No question. We have to take a minute here to really give a lot of credit to the Baltimore Orioles. The respect they showed him by standing and applauding him till this was all over. And then as Derek told Tom Verducci, we had speculated on that before the game, that this would be his last game at shortstop. But because he's respectful of the Boston fans, there's people that paid big money to see Derek come to Boston. It doesn't mean anything. He's going to be the DH and probably take a couple at bats and doff his cap. So he's going to do the right thing as he always does.
And whatever happens, it will in no way detract from what happened here tonight.
No, this will be, as you said, there is not one fan that left this stadium all night, and they're going to be talking about this game. There are 49,000 people. Probably in another month we'll hear there were 100,000 people here. Everybody's going to want to say they were at this game.
The boss would have approved.
Yeah, no question. Well, the Yankees made a great decision back in 1992 at the expense of 5 other teams that didn't pick Derek first. And he got his wish. Dave Winfield was his hero. Always wanted to play for the Yankees. And boy, did he play for the Yankees.
Somebody said this week that sometimes Derek frustrated George Steinbrenner because George liked to get under people's skins, people who worked for him in any capacity, prod them, criticize them. He couldn't find anything really to gripe about concerning Derek. Remember they did that commercial many years ago when Derek was early in his career, and he calls a sheepish Jeter into his office and says, Derek, I'm getting reports you're a young man, you like to go out on the town, I'm very, very concerned about this. And Jeter pretends that, okay, I'll do whatever you say, boss.
And the other thing that Joe Torre pointed out in his visit with us in the second inning, which was so cool, when Derek had made a base running blunder, as soon as he came to the bench, he went and sat right between Joe and Zim and waited to get scolded. And all Joe could do was laugh.
Well, after tonight, except at an old-timers event, no single-digit uniform will ever be worn by a Yankee player of the Bronx. That's a paraphrase of what Joe DiMaggio said. I want to thank the good Lord for making me a Yankee. If ever there was a guy who embodied the best of what the Yankees are supposed to represent, who embodied that mystique, who deserved to have his name join the roll call with Ruth and Gehrig and DiMaggio and Mantle and Ford and Berra and his teammate Rivera. Is he the very best of all those players? No. But he is an all-time great player who embodied everything you want in a baseball player.
And it was a lot of fun for me watching him do this for more than a dozen years.
And on a night when it was supposed to rain, Derek Jeter once again reigns in the Bronx. apparently there will be some appearances at Fenway Park. But this pretty much figures to be the final chapter in a glorious baseball story written by Derek Jeter. Kitty, what a pleasure. Even more so than usual tonight. The Yankees win it 6-5 on a game-winning base hit by Derek Jeter. Good night from the Bronx.